Good evening, everyone. Here's the day-end market roundup for the Colombo Stock Exchange on the 8th of July 2025, brought to you by Senfin Securities. The all-share price index closed at 18,032.12, down by just 10.08 points or 0.06%, indicating a relatively flat performance after recovering from deeper losses seen earlier in the day. Meanwhile, the S&P SL20 index ended at 5,321.75, declining by 18.24 points or 0.34%, reflecting some continued weakness among the more liquid counters. Looking at today's overall market activity, total market turnover stood at 8.88 billion rupees, reflecting a strong level of trading for the day. Crossings contributed significantly, amounting to 5.24 billion rupees, indicating active participation from institutional investors. Among the companies that recorded the highest value turnover were East West Properties and Sampath Bank, showing where much of the trading interest was concentrated. Meanwhile, overall market capitalization closed at 6,426.92 billion rupees, broadly in line with the slight decline seen in the main indices. Turning to the breakdown of market participation for the day. Domestic investors dominated total market purchases, accounting for 8,814.72 million rupees, which represents a substantial 99% of buying activity. Foreign purchases were relatively modest at 67.57 million rupees, making up just 1%. On the sales side, domestic investors recorded sales of 8,253.62 million rupees, contributing 93% of the total. Foreign sales stood at 628.67 million rupees, reflecting a 7% share of the day's selling activity. This highlights the continued strong presence of local investors in both buying and selling, with foreign activity picking up slightly on the sales side. Now let's take a look at the top gainers of the day. East West Properties led the list, showing strong upward momentum and attracting notable investor interest. CM Holdings also posted solid gains, reflecting renewed confidence in the sector. SMB Finance was among the standout performers, with its non-voting shares recording healthy advances. TES Agro followed closely, continuing its positive trend from previous sessions. And finally, Dialog Finance rounded off the list of top gainers, supported by active buying in the finance sector. Moving on to the fourth slide, we have the top losers of the day. Today's list is led by UB Finance, which experienced a notable decline in its share price amidst subdued investor interest. Next, Muller and Phipps Ceylon also recorded a drop, reflecting weaker market sentiment in the trading session. We then have Renuka Hotels, which saw its non-voting shares losing ground today, potentially due to profit-taking after recent gains. Similarly, Renuka Agri-Foods witnessed a downturn in its non-voting shares, contributing to the overall downward momentum. Finally, Asia Capital ended lower, continuing its recent trend under pressure from thin trading volumes. Now let's look at the top positive contributors to the all-share price index for today. Leading the way is Pound Finance, which provided a strong uplift to the index on the back of increased investor interest and solid trading volumes. Commercial Bank of Ceylon also made a significant positive impact, with its share price appreciating and helping to bolster the overall market index. Ceylon Grain Elevators contributed notably as well, likely supported by sector-driven momentum and renewed buying interest. Joining them, Citizens Development Business Finance added strength to the index with healthy price movements during the session. Finally, Valuable Finance rounded out the list of top contributors, underscoring continued confidence in the financial sector. Next, we turn to the top negative contributors to the ASPI for today. At the forefront is John Keells Holdings, which exerted the largest downward pressure on the index, reflecting cautious sentiment around diversified sector counters. CT Holdings also weighed on the index, with its share price easing amid relatively subdued activity. In the banking sector, Hatton National Bank contributed negatively, as its shares experienced modest declines, slightly dampening the overall index performance. Royal Ceramics Lanka followed suit, softening during the session, likely influenced by profit-taking in the manufacturing sector. Finally, Ceylon Tobacco Company added to the downward momentum, closing weaker and impacting the index given its significant market capitalization. Thank you for your attention.